The words I have written for you today represent my 7th, and yes, I've been counting, attempt. The other 6 were either too pretentious, too abstract, too preachy, too boring, too esoteric, or too bad. Influences, ideas, and interruptions have bashed my brain and attempted to hijack my platform. If I succumbed to everybody's wishes, this speech would simultaneously be a hilarious 5-minute stand-up routine, a scathing criticism of the education system as a whole, an extended metaphor stretched to its elastic limit, me performing Piano Man by Billy Joel, and a roast session of everybody who may have wronged me these past 4 years. As a wise man once said, find joy in simple things. So for my 7th attempt, I intend to embody exactly that. I will simply tell you a story. The story I know I have to tell. The story of someone very important to me. My first piano teacher was my mother. My earliest memories with her involve playing alongside her through the lesson books she learned from during her childhood on a dusty keyboard that was almost 30 keys short of the full 88, at a time when my hands could only stretch across 7, not without considerable strain. But the affinity I quickly exhibited toward the instrument caught the attention of my mother, who enlisted a formal teacher for me after almost a year of this informal experimentation. And so my early childhood years centered around the piano. It was my first passion, and it remains my closest. During the summer of 2011, my 12-year-old self was invited to partake in the Summer Piano Institute, an annual week-long summer camp at Ithaca College dedicated just to the study of piano. Over the course of the week, each student was to eventually prepare one piece to perform at a recital in a real concert hall. And so, as children tend to do, I let my mother choose for me. Luckily, the choice was quite easy for her. Nocturne in E-flat major, Opus 9, number 2, by Frédéric Chopin. Her favorite piece, one I often caught her practicing just before she would put me to bed. I was scheduled to perform on Friday night, while half of the student body was to perform the following morning. What I have not mentioned yet in this story is that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2001, 1 year before my brother was born. Naivety prevented me from comprehending her condition during my earliest years, and naivety prevented me from seeing her rapid decline that summer, at a profoundly inopportune moment in my life. Though in retrospect, nothing ever happens when we want it to happen. On the morning of the recital, my father sent me off to camp with tears in his eyes, worry on his lips, and the grip of his arms still around my shoulders after speaking with my bedridden mother upstairs. At lunchtime, just hours before the recital, I was quickly delivered home to find that my mother had passed away while I was gone. I stayed home that night, but not without practicing my recital piece at least once. What happened the following morning did not seem real. Moreover, it felt as if it were the plot from a movie, as if I were an actor controlled by the director, following my script exactly. I donned my dress clothes and departed for the Saturday morning recital. Though my name was not on the program, I was the first to perform. Though the entire nocturne, played without a single error, was played by my hands, it did not feel as if I were playing. I struck the final chord, bowed, and hurried off stage because the music had stopped flowing, letting the tears take over. I tell you this story both for your sake and for my sake. To you, the class of 2017, I hope you are able to discern something which you can be passionate about in the coming years. Graduation requires that one abandon the security of the familiar, the comfort of routine. The memories, jokes, friends, enemies, successes, failures, and knowledge we have acquired over these past 4 years will offer a solid support system as we venture out into the Byzantine jungle we call adult life. Do not let your reservations impede your progress. Whether it be art, or music, or math, or English, or science, or history, or running, or soccer, or dance, or football, or theater, whether it be your lifelong dream or a newfound interest, whether it be exactly what your parents want for you or exactly what your parents don't want for you, remember this: find what you love and do it well. In the words of Charles Bukowski, find what you love and let it kill you. Let it drain you of your all. But as far as my own desires go, I tell you this story so that my mother's memory never dies, so that she might live through me and in me and because of me. Before I enrolled at Notre Dame, my father introduced me to a novella called The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. His favorite line, which he continuously embedded in me throughout my experience with the novella, is as follows: "What is essential is invisible to the eye." It is up to each of you to discover what and who are truly essential. My mother takes precedence over anything else I might deem essential, and so not mentioning her tonight, not crediting her as my most profound influence, my driving force, and the reason I have the willingness to achieve what I have, since no amount of effort or strain I could ever subject myself to could ever even come close to the amount of courage and sacrifice it took her to be a loving, nurturing mother for over 10 years, while cancer seized her of her own body and made it not her own, would be the gravest disservice I could ever do to another human being. I believe that the only purpose each of us has on earth is to improve the lives of others, no matter the scale. To the class of 2017, I implore each of you to find what you love, and more importantly than letting it kill you, let that love, that passion, that drive serve others. Wherever life takes you, discover what is truly important to you and tell others about it. Make sure it never dies for as long as you live.